Good evening, Nigerians, and welcome to another edition of Electricity Town Hall, a program being sponsored by the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission (NERC), aimed at keeping consumers of electricity abreast of happenings in the nation's power sector. This program comes your way every Monday on the network service of Radio Nigeria at 7 o'clock in the evening. NERC is the regulator for the nation's power sector, interfacing with electricity generation companies known as GENCOs, the Transmission Company of Nigeria (TCN), and the distribution companies (DISCOs). I'm David Umur, your anchor. The Nigerian electricity supply industry (NERC) is the framework for electricity generation, transmission, and distribution in Nigeria. It's a critical sector that plays a vital role in Nigeria's economic development, fueling industries and improving the standard of living. However, the NERC faces ongoing challenges such as providing reliable and affordable power to a growing population. One area that has remained critical has been the distribution sector, where consumers are given electricity and in turn required to pay for services rendered. Owing to issues surrounding electricity supply, consumption, bills, electricity theft, consumer protection, compliance and enforcement, the federal government has introduced several initiatives geared towards protecting the consumer while also providing the investor the enabling environment to get returns on their investment. Today we'll be looking at the importance of safety and NERC stakeholders' role in protecting lives and property. To what extent is safety prioritized and how much importance do industry players attach to it? These and more will be interrogated tonight on Electricity Town Hall as we look at safety in the Nigerian electricity supply industry (NERC). And we have in the studio Head, Health, Safety and Environment Division of NERC, Dr. Jonathan Okorompo. Good evening and welcome to the program.
A very good evening to you and good evening, Nigerians.
With us also is the Deputy Manager, Network Safety from the Health, Safety and Environment Division of the Commission, Engineer Nnamdi Ibe. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good evening, Nigerians.
Thank you. Good to have you join us on the program tonight. So we'll just hit the ground running. Let's talk about safety to start with. In the context of the Nigerian electricity supply industry, what does safety mean? Dr. Jonathan.
Okay, safety in a nutshell mainly looks at the end-to-end of the electricity sector, how people can be protected, looking at the environment, looking at the infrastructure, also looking at the personnel. You will understand with me that apart from the people working as workers for the distribution companies, there are other people working for TCN, that is Transmission Company of Nigeria, and there are also consumers. Now, if we look at safety, we must have to have that broad view, ensuring that end-to-end, from generation down to the end users, everybody is protected via electricity mishaps. So in a nutshell, safety simply can be defined as having protection against the mishaps of electricity in the context of electricity sector.
And what's the role of NERC stakeholders in protecting lives and property?
Yeah, the role of NERC stakeholders in protecting life and property is one, apart from minimizing losses, is also to prevent injuries, damages to property, and also to avoid unnecessary power loss. Because where there is a mishap as relating to electricity infrastructure, definitely that particular feeder or whatever thing that is supplying power to that region will be cut off until that unsafe act or unsafe condition is being rectified. So it is necessary that across the value chain that this is understood, whether at the distribution level or transmission level or generation level or at the end user's points of contacts. So it's end to end. So one has to be optimal in observing safety across the value chain.
And okay, we'll still get back to the role of these stakeholders in protecting lives and property. But before then, why is safety in itself such a critical issue in the electricity sector?
Yeah, safety is critical in the electricity sector because life does not have a duplicate, and once safety is not handled properly, apart from losing life, we can record indirect and direct causes, losses. We can also prevent other people from enjoying the power supply, as it may be.
Okay, and in our opening conversation, we're talking about the importance of safety and NERC stakeholders' role in protecting lives and property as it is. So, Engineer Namde, could you just give us a quick overview of the Nigerian electricity supply industry, NERC, before we talk about the stakeholders?
Yeah, Nigerian electricity supply industry is the synergy of all the stakeholders that make up the electricity value chain. We talk about the generation companies who are to generate electricity, the transmission companies who provide the networks for transmitting this generated electricity to the distribution sector. We now talk about the distribution companies that take this electricity down to the consumers. We also have the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, whose sole responsibility is to ensure that the rules and regulations are being obeyed in the NERC. We have the NEMSA, Nigerian Electricity Management Service Agency, whose also responsibilities are to ensure that standards are being followed during installations. We have the Federal Minister of Power, who are the policy holders, and we also have the LEMCO, who are in charge of the properties and other stakeholders. So when you bring all these stakeholders together with all their different functions to ensure that electricity is being delivered in a reliable and safe manner, that is what we call the NERC, Nigerian Electricity Supply Industry.
Okay, so when it comes to safety, how do they play their role in delivering safety within this sector?
All of us can agree that during the generation of electricity, generation companies must ensure that this electricity are being generated in a safe manner by ensuring that all the protection systems that are needed to ensure that the unsafe acts and unsafe conditions are being prevented are being done. They will ensure that they carry out their preventive maintenance, ensure that they carry out their work as when they're supposed to do that. The transmission company's role is to ensure that these entire long networks of towers and conductors coming to different states and regions are being maintained accurately to ensure that there is no wire snap, there is no collapse of any of the towers, while the distribution sectors are there to ensure that electricity are delivered to the customers. And they are also have a responsibility of carrying out public safety sensitization to sensitize the public on the safe use of electricity, and also to sensitize the public on how to ensure that the house wiring of their different houses are done in a standard manner. With all the end-to-end from the generation to the consumers, you could see that safety is a vital key, and everybody has a role to play to ensure that the entire network is being safe.
One of the challenges where you have multi-players in a particular sector is duplication of functions. Thereby, sometimes it can lead to an oversight, someone forgetting to do something because you feel this person is already doing it. Are there challenges like that, Dr. Jonathan?
Yeah, thank you for that question. Presently, we don't have such challenges in the NERC, primarily because we have Electricity Act 2023 in operation. Now, the Act make it very clear for the APES regulator, that is Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, to know its rules, and those that were defined by NEMSA, like my colleague earlier mentioned, were clearly cut out. At the federal level, these are the only two regulators playing at that level, but NEMSA was purely charged with technical details, and their rules are well spelled out by the Electricity Act 2023. Now, NERC on its own equally have its rules cut out, which gives it that regulatory overview of the entire sector. So where it's mandatory to also reach out to agencies like SON, Standard Organization of Nigeria, that also most times are done. We also have the FCCPC, Federal Consumer Protection Commission, yeah. So their own purely is equally cut out, and theirs is not only on the electricity sector, it goes across the entire country. So apart from that, NERC rules are purely cut out and is defined in the Electricity Act 2023.
What is the level of collaboration within the stakeholders in the NERC?
Since the inception of NERC usually convenes what we call a bi-monthly NERC stakeholders meeting. In that meeting, every player in the sector, licensees or otherwise, or stakeholders, are all invited to a meeting. Now, in that meeting, programs are designed in a way that it will cover all the loopholes that have been experienced within that quarter or within that bi-monthly issue, and it will be read out. So if there are other issues that were not captured, those can be raised during such meetings, and it will be ironed out by the board of the commission of the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission. Now, apart from that, there are other meetings. For instance, if there are incidences or notifications from any DISCO, from any distribution company or from transmission company of Nigeria, any of the licenses of the commission. So those things can be raised, and where the commission feels there may be collaboration among other MDAs or agencies, the commission will also reach out to them, and there will be a joint visitation or inspection of such issues.
Engineer Nande, we're zeroing in on safety here. And when it comes to safety, especially in the electricity industry, it cannot be delayed. You have to attend to it immediately because it can wreak havoc at any time. So is there an attitude of they ignore and say this is not my area, or they interact so well and resolve whatever issue it is as long as it deals with safety?
Okay, thank you for the question. The Nigerian Electricity Health and Safety Code, which is a regulatory instrument that guides the health and safety of the Nigerian electricity supply industry, stipulates the various timelines for issues or notifications that happens or an incident should be given to the commission. We have 24 hours for any distribution company to be able to report any incident or notification to the commission. And we also have the Consumer Protection 2023 that also stipulates for consumers to see any incident or any accident to report. We have a toll-free line where they can call to the commission to take charge of these issues. So issues of incidents are being reported to the commission. We have an email address that we also use, and whenever they come to the commission's notice, the adequate thing is being done to ensure that that is averted. There have been issues where we need to call the distribution companies at the various sectors to ensure that they go to that location to avert such incidents from happening. And we have also instructed most of the distribution companies to carry out public safety sensitization, stakeholders engagement within localities to be able to, to inform the public on how to treat any issues of electricity that comes within their way. For issues of stopped conductors that are being seen on the road, they are meant to, to ensure that nobody come close to it and call the distribution company in charge of that location to come and avert that issue.
So it's safe to say, as far as safety is concerned in NERC, is a responsibility of all. Nobody should ignore it. Report as seen immediately. And before we go, definitely reel out some of these contact numbers and emails so that you can report whatever it is you see that's wrong with the grid, wrong with the transmission, or wrong with electricity network in general. You're listening to Electricity Town Hall on the network service of Radio Nigeria, a program being sponsored by the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC. We'll take a short break, and when we return, how does promoting safety protect lives, property, and environment? More of this we'll take when we return. Stay with us.
This is Electricity Town Hall on the network service of Radio Nigeria. We will be back shortly.
My people, health and safety no be by choice o, na must. Whether na for work, house or near power installation, our life depend on whether we take safety prevention serious. Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission (NERC) dey see health and safety as number one. This na because say life in no get part two. Carelessness around electricity e fit to cause serious injury or even death sef. Plenty accidents dey happen because people no sabi or dem no dey follow simple safety standards or rules dem. Every Nigerian suppose to know say public safety na everybody business. No ever touch electrical installation. Always dey stay far from high voltage equipment dem. Make sure say your workplace get clear safety rules. Report any wire wey no good or any electric equipment wey don spoil sharp sharp. And make you dey use only electricians wey get certificate to take dey do your electrical work o. For more information, make you visit www.gov.ng. NERC, make light continue to dey shine.
We are back with Electricity Town Hall on the network service of Radio Nigeria.
It's still Electricity Town Hall on the network service of Radio Nigeria. We're discussing the importance of safety and NERC stakeholders' role in protecting lives and property in the Nigerian electricity supply industry. We've been speaking with the head Health, Safety and Environment Division of NERC, Dr. Jonathan Okoronkwo. Once again, thanks for joining us on the program.
Thank you very much.
Also in the studio with us is Deputy Manager, Network Safety from the Health, Safety and Environment Division of the Commission, Engineer Nnamdi Ibe. Thank you once more for coming on the program.
It's my pleasure to be here.
Okay, Doctor, I will begin with you on this half now. What role do these stakeholders play in ensuring safety? Or like the distinct roles now?
The roles that the stakeholders play in ensuring safety are quite numerous. One is that they play by the rules. There are rules governing the sector. We have the code, the electricity code, health and safety code. We have the manual. We have the act itself. Now we have the ruling documents in this particular aspect. And on quarterly basis, each of these players, each of the licensees report back to the Commission of progress made as regards to safety. One, they send us quarterly reports. They also send us monthly reports, which we will now look at to verify what has happened in their respective spaces, or through the month, or through the quarter, throughout the year. Now, when we get these reports, those reports are analyzed, and we'll prepare for the upcoming month, or the next quarter, or the next year. Now, based on that, we also have what we call the biannual Health and Safety Week, where all the safety players, whether they are chief technical officers, whether they are HSE managers in the respective generation company, transmission company, distribution companies, they all come together, present their challenges, present their findings, and all of us will look at it and try to resolve them. And where there are lapses, it will also be communicated to them. So what we do in a nutshell, once there is an accident in any space, whether it's maybe in the north, in any particular state or locality, or local, as the case may be, they report within a specified period of time, as captured in the Health and Safety Code. Now, it also takes the Commission a specified period of time, 21 days, to ensure that that accident is verified, and we also issue report for compliance. And if there is fatality, definitely there will be compensation. Now, all these things are done in order to make sure that people are well protected and to avoid any form of litigation, as the case may be.
Okay, we don't pray for disasters or issues of safety to actually occur.
Yes.
But when they occur and it's obviously due to negligence, what does the Commission do in that aspect?
Definitely, everything is spelled out in the code and all the ruling documents. Once there is a fatality and any of the licenses are culpable, definitely we'll have to write to them to compensate whoever is involved, and we'll follow up till it is done. We have the compliance unit in our legal division. So while the Health and Safety unit investigates and reports to the Commission in charge, he will now communicate his colleague, who will ensure that the compliance unit follows up to ensure that that compensation is paid. Most times, you've heard there was a time Abuja Disco was levied up to 200 million for just mere negligence. So NERC does not take issue of accidents or self-art or self-conditions lightly. There are big penalties that are levied against such negligence.
Okay. I'll come to you, Engineer Nnamdi. What are some of these common safety challenges facing NERC today?
Okay, if you are very observant and look around you could see that most of the distribution network are in shambles. You can see that most of the electricity conductors are obsolete. Some of them are very old. The poles, the wooden poles are weak. Some of them have been eaten by, rickets. You can also look at the distribution substation. We call the transformer is very exposed. Most of them are not fenced, which predisposes the entire public into, falling into any accidents or at any time. You can also see that most of the armored cables have been weak. Most of the insulations have failed and is exposed, and there have been issues where children were playing football, and one of their balls entered into the exposed ROMU, ring main unit that was on the road. one of the boys went to retrieve the ball, and there was an accident. The boy lost his life. The commission did not take that lightly. There have also been incidents where, because of weak conductors and the weak poles, when there is rainfall, some of them will snap. When we say snap, means it will cut. It will now drop on a low voltage line that is feeding the customers. And being that it is a high voltage line, it transmits higher voltage into those low voltage lines, which will now move straight to people's houses and led to the destruction of their electrical equipment. Sometimes it has led to the raising down of building in fire, and many people have also lost their life while trying to unplug their electrical appliances like their fridge or freezers. So the entire network, entire space has been in shambles, and that is why the commission is not taking it lightly. Orders have been sent to the distribution companies to ensure that the area of coverage is being kept safe. Preventive maintenance is one of the key roles of the Commission's instrument. Section 10.2 of the NERC Regulation 2015 stipulates that there must be periodic maintenance carried out on your electricity equipment. You must be able to check how function are they, be able to replace the old and bad ones, and be able to ensure that it is working effectively. Also, your staff must be trained properly on how to handle this properly. There have been situations whereby distribution companies, most of their staff are not being trained. Some of them learn on the job, which has predisposed them into, doing the wrong thing and carrying accidents. Some of them don't take outages. They refuse to take permit to work, try to carry out function while the line is on, which will lead to death and other issues. So the commission is not taking it lightly. The commission has been ensuring that the right thing is being done to ensure that the entire NERC is being safe.
Okay, moving on. If you look around Abuja and its environs, as you see, construction going on everywhere. Let's just be specific. Road expansion, for example, somewhere in Kari, if you go there, you see where the roads are now being expanded and you have power lines.
Okay, in that particular aspect, in such situations, the commission has already informed their licensees who are in charge of those locations, because every area is being manned by a licensee. So when you're talking of Abuja, the licensee that is in charge of Abuja is Abuja Electricity Distribution Company. They have the responsibility to ensure that they write to those people doing those construction, inform them of the hazards involved in that construction and the accident that may happen should in case of any of those wires snapping. And those people have been collaborating. There have been issues whereby they have also visited the Commissioner of Police, trying to synergize with the building approval, because you can see most of the houses that are under the power line. So they write to the local government chairman and synergize with them on what should be done. So at the end, they write to the commission, giving us their feedback that they have been able to inform this on this. The commission sometimes set up a committee that will discuss on that issue to ensure that that is averted and the right thing is being done.
Thank you. And okay, you want to add to that?
Yes, I would like to add to that. There are defined right-of-ways. You see, the development control already have mapped out the size of the road that will be there. You may be surprised that it will not be a very difficult thing for the power utilities wherever in this country to move their power lines.
Okay.
So it's just, for instance, if the contractor is moving to site, you communicate the development control, communicate the Ministry of Works, write to the commission, and write to the utility in charge of that locale. Now, what they do is that these 3 or 4 agencies now collaborate to ensure that the original development plan of that place is maintained.
It's maintained.
So once it's maintained, you now see where the right-of-ways have been established. Then where they refuse to do so, NEMSA comes in to tell you, depending on the voltage level, the clearance that you must give, assuming it's 132 voltage line, is almost to 500 meters. If it's 33 kV line, it's 500 meters. So all those things are defined. So there's no way somebody can encroach into the right-of-way. And if you do that, it will be marked by the local development control.
Okay, thank you very much for that clarification here tonight. And as we just wrap up, what practical steps can NERC stakeholders take to strengthen safety going forward?
Okay, one of the practical steps that can be taken is continuous enlightenment.
Okay.
And apart from continuous enlightenment, programs such as this town hall that spreads over the country can be sustained across the country.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. I think they need to ensure that they are able to upscale their infrastructure to better equipment, to replace obsolete equipment, be able to train their workers to do the right thing, and also, as my colleague said, carry out public safety sensitization to sensitize the public on safe use of electricity.
And before we go, we have the email complaints@nerc.gov.ng, complaints@nerc.gov.ng, and also info@nerc.gov.ng. So when it comes to safety in the NERC industry, we are all responsible for it. This is where we end today's conversation of Electricity Town Hall on the network service of Radio Nigeria. And I've been speaking with the head Health, Safety and Environment Division of NERC, Dr. Jonathan Okoronkwo. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Always my pleasure. Thank you.
And also Deputy Manager, Network Safety from the Health, Safety and Environment Division of the Commission, Engineer Nnamdi Ibe. Thank you so much for coming in tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you both for your insightful contributions on the program tonight. Appreciation to the production team, studio manager, Phineas Udoyo, facilitator Conrad Labe, producer Sunday Goche. Special thanks to our executive producer Msoshima Key. I am David Umoru. See you next Monday for another interesting edition of Electricity Town Hall. Goodbye.